Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zoo Community Live broadcast of the WTRL Team Time Trial Platinum League. We're out on number 130 of the Team Time Trials, a place where all of the premier racing of Zwift has really gotten going over the last couple of years. And we are on the flat route for 3 laps, 30.6 kilometers. Nathan, Guerra, Dave, Towle next to me. Dave, this route is a classic course, really, when it comes down to team time trialing. It's got a little bit of undulations here and there just to kind of keep people on their toes. Not pan flat. We're not Fuego flats kind of flat, but, really we're just hitting the S's and also hitting a little bit of that Ocean Boulevard. And that's about it.
Yeah, you can't completely check out, can you? And turn off the brain and just go into watt-making mode. Definitely, yeah, I think this is a great course to race on, to tell you the truth. As I think it was the Dirt Diggler said, we'll find out how flat it is. And there's a couple little kickers, right? So, again, though, this will test your team. Really, I think the perfect distance as well. So let's get it on. This is going to be a fun day. I got to tell you, Nathan, I've had a really good run with my internet and my computer. Obviously, it's super simple here, right? But and I always used to feel for athletes when they would, obviously having a tech issue is a big deal, and it happens to everyone at some point. You name the athlete, I can pretty much remember a moment that they had to drop out. Something happened, and man, when it happens to you, even on our end, right, it is really stressful. You really feel this bizarre pressure. And so anyways, my heart goes out to everybody who goes through that for sure. But I'm fired up to get back out here. WTRL, this is where it all started, isn't it? I mean, it really is. Once we really moved into a competitive esports on Zwift mode, WTRL, in a lot of ways, the reason why we can have an incredible announcement about Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift, it kind of goes back to making racing credible, which is what WTRL did. So thanks, Martin. It really is. You got to look at, we stand on the shoulder of giants, right?
100%. And definitely got to say, when it comes to racing out on Zwift, huge part of it. Now, jumping right on in with the team PTZ in the C pens, it's going to be a special for the men's that we're going to jump in with right off the bat. This is as old school as it gets. One of the first kits ever put in game, and I was told recently that they're...
Is that right?
On their... Yeah, this is one of the first kits ever put in game. This is a kit that's been around long enough that we had a Vision cohort going on with them. They were actually a part of the Vision teams that were out there. As you can see, the little logo on the back of the kit. Vision kit, obviously, also one of the longest standing in games. So it's great to see PTZ out here represented today. They are the first team to come through with a time on our checkpoints. We will have 6K as well as, see if the old man eyes can read this over here, 8K
I think it's
and
16.
16K. 8K, excuse me, 16K. Right, that's right on, and 24K.
Hey, are you talking about my eyes again? Were you talking about my eyes again?
Today it was mine for some reason. I need to get the beta carotene going again or something.
So I have to say, this kit looks as fresh today as it did when it was introduced. Definitely some great graphic design there. And, Nathan, I'd like to take a moment as we get racing going to really shout out James Barnes as well. Were you stoked to see him take that premier win this week? I thought it was just really nice to see one of the good guys. And I'm going to guess he's one of the first people that you rode with consistently on Zwift. Is that fair?
Yeah, Barnesy is definitely somebody who's been fighting for this. I raced with him also in the Movistar Challenge. I was just doing it for fun. He was taking it super seriously.
Yeah.
Trying to get on that Movistar team. He just barely missed out. Movistar might be kicking themselves a little bit as they got whooped by Barnesy this past weekend. So, solid on him on making his way up through the community and getting picked up by Next and really represent. It's like the first day out kind of thing too. Like first Premier Division, jumps out there and grabs that W. And one of the main talking points to that is that this is one of the main places that he has been building that fitness, with Team Innovation originally on the Team Time Trial, learning how to do things there, and then coming through and see him in Premier Division. Awesome to see. Got some times coming through here, Dave. Cycling Power Race Team, PTZ, they're coming through quick right now. Down and Dirty Vipers,
Yeah, they're hauling.
R&K Gazelles tied up here, 4th and 5th.
So here we go. This is going to be a real battle. Expect Bedlam out here today. So 3 laps, 30.6K. This check at 8K. So Cycling Power Race Team at 10:36. It's only 7 seconds back there to the team we were just in with the Whiters, but that's going to update as ART, the Photons, 10:35, 1 second quicker. All right, very, very tight up on top of the leaderboard after check 1. As you only go down to 10:50 for the Crouch and Gulls, they're always competitive. They just don't miss a step. Zed Sun are actually, we're now saying Z Sun. I don't know if you noticed that, but the British guys were having to use Z. So Z Sun, Red Dwarfs. I'm kidding. We can go back and forth. Either way, 10:53. That's a great time here for the Down and Dirty Vipers, though they're still within striking distance as they are even up with the Roe and King Gazelles. Nathan, you don't see this often. After 8K, there's not even 24 seconds separating all of our teams that have come through the check.
I think it says a lot about the course as well. It's going to be just a pure power course and keeping the speeds as high as possible. So, I do think later on in the race, we'll start seeing the separations. 49 kilometers per hour, as you do see right here. And the fastest of the fastest teams in that Doppio, I think, are going to be up in that 50 to 51 through this section, which is just absolutely insane. We'll take a look at the course records here in just a moment. But I just wanted to give a shout out to Istak. This is going to be Istak Nez, 115 WTRL TTTs in the Espresso. He is the most experienced. What I can see here in the Espressos, the next runner up doesn't even have over 100. So big shout out to the Down and Dirty Vipers with Istak Nez coming out of Slovenia. And that's also going to be Mr. Masja, who is also one of our Twitch streamers, and he's actually this rider. He's been doing some of these speed runs that they're calling them on some of the courses out there, trying to get the fastest times possible on very specific courses that are being tracked on some of the speed running gaming sites out there. Actually, like you have these speed runs where people try and do Mario or whatever kind of platformers. A lot of time as fast as you can. They have world records. Well, they're actually trying to do these records and load them up on these gaming sites for these specific routes that they're making up out on course as well. Pretty cool to see. So good to see Mats out here. Very strong rider as well for the Down and Dirty Vipers today.
115 WTRLs out of the maximum possible would be up. So Martin has done 130 of them behind the keyboard there. So that is unbelievable dedication. And obviously has been, I mean, if you think about it, it's not going to be too long until we come up on 3 years of WTRL Thursday happening without missing a beat out there. That time has not improved as a few more squads have come through. ART, again, the Photons, they are firing on all cylinders out there. That 10:35 is, wow, lickety split, but 2 teams within 1 second there. So, I mean, 3 teams within a second, I should say. Wow. All right. So, Nathan, again, they're coming up on the midpoint of this race. So you can see there the most experienced WTL racer. There's no one else more than 115, or is there?
There may be in another that here. May be in another class.
I have a feeling there's like a 117 for some reason. Something, but we'll see. Because, yeah, exactly. We use the coffee classes here rather than the standard A, B, C, and D. And this is going to be, you can see the espresso group here. And if you were on Swift Power, you'd see all of those riders on the team. And actually, we should shout out all of the teammates as well here. Oh, faster time. Actually, Nathan, take a look at that as Schmersfrey, Espresso, 10:32. We do seed these teams based on the ride that they had last week, every week in the Platinum League, it's invite only. We look around the globe over the 16 different zones and invite the teams. It doesn't matter. I mean, Zone 1 has been very hot lately with multiple teams having the fastest times. They may or may not participate because they're down under mostly, I should say. Is you can race in any zone that you want, whatever suits you. That's one of the beautiful things about esports and racing with WTRL. So, all right, Nathan, 10:32, so a few seconds quicker there for the Schmersfrey.
Yeah, new team I'm not super familiar with, honestly. And they actually have a interesting enough coming out of Austria. It looks like one of the riders here, Meersfrey. It's all in Austrian or German. Not sure which one actually. The entire about us. So I'm not gonna try to read what's happening there, but definitely cool to see
Understandable.
this new team at the top too. Like this is a no joke situation when it comes to the time that they're
They
pulling off
must.
here. I want to know what they're doing as far as the dopios go too. I'm just gonna move this over for a second. 10:32, 10:27, 10:27 from NZ Bro Slipstick, Toyota Cryo RDT, and next. I mean they're right there with the fastest of the fast out there when it comes to Premier League, even. I mean, Premier Division, even as Toyota RDT as well as Next Esports presented by Insured are obviously already in Premier Division. NZ Bro are letting us know that they're on their way, throwing down a tied situation with Toyota Cryo RDT.
Well, welcome to the big time. No doubt about it. This is outstanding, and this is certainly going to send a ripple effect as this news starts spreading about Schmersfrey. As a lot of these teams are the usual suspects, to tell you the truth. Although I would have to say that it's nice to see some teams breaking through as well. You can see that Tutti Frutti, their team Swedish Swifters, they're another establishment squad without any question. What an outstanding performance! We're jumping in with Rowan King now. Again, this is back with our espressos. We have, I mean, literally thousands and thousands of racers, nearly thousands of teams. I would imagine we're getting pretty close to that point. There's so much data to look at when you have the WTRL out here racing. But right now, we're in with the Gazelles, another squad, a traditional powerhouse squad here, as they make their way through that gravel section, increasing the rolling resistance or that factor. You really do feel the gravel, no doubt about it. Teams will start to come apart a little bit of unraveling as we're seeing right now, but they're going to weld this back together or knit this back together, I guess would be more appropriate.
Times just start coming in with a 21:20 and a 21:29 as they do. And as we were touching on the dirt team a little bit as well, we do have an awesome poster coming in from them as usual. And was you referencing this earlier, actually, Dave? I feel like you were referencing this, perhaps, but the
I did.
Flatopia 2021. It's only as flat as you want it to be. What is this little underground? I feel like I'm in the city of Embers. Do they know about like a top secret place underneath Watopia that we don't actually know about? Is that supposed to be the underground tunnel? I'm not exactly sure. It looks like there's a city in the upper right over there. We'll wait on John Mayfield's confirmation of any of these updates to the world of Watopia. But thanks a lot. Appreciate it, as always, with the Digglers and the Dirty Afternoon Delight, as well as the diapers and the rest. Just want to give a big shout out as well to the Faster After 50s, as always. Women 50 plus.
I saw this.
Loving this.
Average
And that's a
age.
shout out to something that happened today here, Dave.
Yeah, right. Well, it's an honor to have them racing with us, and they're as stoked as anyone about Tour de France Feminine avec Zwift. I am so pumped for women's racing right now. With Paris-Roubaix happening just a few weeks ago, the exciting World Cup action happening here in the United States, it is just a great time to be a cycling fan. And the route that they announced for the Tour, oh my goodness, it is awesome. The women's tour will be running at the end of July. I believe it's the 24th to the 31st. But they have a queen stage with a climb that has Ashley Moolman, the virtual world champ, and also an outstanding in real life racer. She's absolutely pumped. It suits her well. So the climbers are going to get a crack at it. It's going to be an incredible tour. No doubt about it, for the women and the men. So finally, we get to say that, right? It's just been way, way too long. So I'm glad it happened in all of our lifetime. And those women, actually, not that old, to tell you the truth. It's all relative, isn't it? Because they're out here kicking butt on Zwift. The average age for the team is right there, around 60 years old. And we love the Owls. They bring a great energy to esports. And really, that's the story. That, right, Nathan, over the last year and a half, the number of athletes that found out that they were athletes because they got on Zwift and ended up having talent and enjoyed the camaraderie of racing. Here they are, WTRL. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, huge boom. Obviously, it's a talking point every single week when it comes to the women's
Yeah.
side of racing, hugely. And the coolest part of it is, in my opinion, there's so many athletes now at this point that would not have been involved in a racing situation. Debbie in Shape, obviously, our key highlight in the last couple of weeks, actually coming over from Twitch. Jumping into the TTT and racing for the first time and dominating, obviously, in the D category with the Viennas last week. So really cool to see. I'm going to jump on over toward the Frappes as we have gotten a pretty good look at how the C's are playing out here. We'll move our way backwards, just give some shout outs to the ART team as well as the Zed Sun teams. We do see Tutti Frutti come on through here with SZ. Good to see them out here as well. DZR Dynamite, as always, great to see them as they come in with a 10:46, and they were sitting in ninth at the last time that we checked in with them. I wonder if this is going to be the Schmerz Frey team, I believe.
Okay.
Because it was all in German, and then they have one Austrian on the team that I happen to select, and that is going to be Nars here. So this is that German. This is showing up to race. Loving the kit setup here too with that 100K kit. Look at this, Dave. This is no joke when it comes to their setup. I mean, they got Fashion Police, S5 2020s, disc setups. I mean, they're here to really make a statement. It looks like in the Platinum League.
Back in the day, Nathan, in the 80s, the East German team were the best team time trialists out there. They were absolute monsters, and they wore a gray silver jersey.
Really?
So this is obviously,
really?
Oh my gosh, they were incredible. They would even beat the Soviets and the Italians and the Danish and they were just unbelievable. And they went on, oddly enough, this is when the Berlin Wall fell and the unification of Germany happened, and Jan Ulrich was from East Germany when he was a kid. It was East Germany. So obviously so many things politically changed there, but this really is reminiscent of that. When it gave me, I've got goosebumps right now because it's so cool to see. As you said, that jersey was earned in game in Zwift for competing a 100K challenge, correct? That was in the last year.
Yeah, your first time doing 100K. Well, your first time doing 100K, you'll get this kit. The first time doing 100 miles, you'll get the pure black. You'll get the pure black one. So as you can see on the back here, it's got the 100 on there. There's a gray one, and then there's a black one. They're both different unlocks. First time you do 100K, first time you do 100 miles, you get these kits.
Well, I have yet to get there.
We need a great kit.
I had no idea.
Maybe these guys will put together a ride for you, and you get their gray kit in game. Well, it's the gray kit in game
for sure. What I love is
the Dave Towle rides 100K ride. It's officially being organized. Here we know. Now Dave's like, Nathan, what are you doing? Stop right now.
Oh my gosh. Can we edit this out? We've never edited before. Nathan, you've inspired me though, for sure. There's no doubt that's possible. So just don't hold your breath. This is Espressos. So we're going to see Tutti Frutti and this team that we're with right now. So what happens is teams are so organized. I saw all of those comments that came in about Crush Pod from Joanne Ernst talking about Director Sportives. I'm sure you read that too. So noted, Joanne, and thank you so much for that feedback. I love it. It really helps me understand what's going on out there. And this is a team that clearly, Nathan, is organized at the very, very highest level. I mean, can you talk about technique? You've been there in the mix and how hard it is to do what they're doing, especially with 8 riders. I should mention, you could start with the maximum of 8, obviously ideal on a course like today. pretty much critical because you're going to need every cylinder. And this is a V8 that we're looking at right now with this German squad. But Nathan, one rider, a little bit of an issue right here. They're going to get back on, but talk about what a great job they're doing.
Well, this team actually, so interesting enough,
Oh,
they're
we moved.
also
Sorry,
using,
we
yeah, but
jumped
no,
over.
you're fine
Yeah.
because that was super, maybe a little confusing because they're using the exact same kit that the German team is using. This is going to be a team backpedal that recently has shown up in the world of esports in this past 3 months or so. They've jumped into the A1 divisions. You can see A1 next to a lot of their names here, in and amongst the Zwift Racing League as well, and have been an absolute force to reckon with. They are coming through with that 1040. We'll see if they'll up their game, coming through at the 16-kilometer mark. That should be coming through any moment now. They were only about 13 seconds behind in this Doppio. So good to see Backpedal out here practicing their TTT, looking, this is a team, they are associated with Wahoo Lacole a little bit, and that's also a team that has been really, really on fire. And I would be on the watch out for them and Wahoo Lacole when it comes to the Premier Division for this next season and some qualifiers.
Hey, little gameplay talk really quickly, Nathan. You see how it went down to 4%, 2%? They're going downhill a bit and they bunched up. That really, I love the way you explained it. I've learned a lot. And you could really see that what is happening there are the dynamics at play in esports and Zwift is really, really interesting. They couldn't hold that single line, right? Because the riders at the back were getting so much draft that they start to bunch up. Watch how they get that line back right now as they start to get steady here. They're no longer on those so it's hard, isn't it? Okay, I'm throwing it back to you, Nathan, with this question.
So
when it goes downhill, it's hard to hold that perfect single file formation, isn't it?
Yeah, so what needs to happen a lot of times on the downhill sections is you need to have a plan. You have to have a plan of attack as how you're going to take them on. And the person who is on the front needs to bump it up actually just a little bit more than usual. Get the speeds really rolling high in the downhill. You got the rest of the riders feathering. And a lot of times on the downhills, riders who are on the front will kind of rest up a little bit, and that'll cause everybody to roll through over the top of you. If you can, you want to hold the watts per kilogram, that's wattage as high as you can. Everybody else comes through. And then at the bottom of that descent, the second rider, the next rider to go, almost needs to just go whether or not it's their turn, because they're going to roll through with speed, and then they kind of jump, and then everybody can straighten out. What you saw with them here is everyone kind of rested at 3.8 to 4, thinking, oh, we'll just carry our speed through. It didn't end up stretching that accordion enough from the watts at the front. So you really got to have that plan of attack and time things, maybe not off of your stopwatch at that point, but rather working with the terrain at those specific points.
And that's where you need to understand that as a team and a director, and certainly the old man strength or the mom strength. That's where the strongest riders on the team. It's like cracking the whip, or like you just have to go a little bit deeper on the front to keep the rope straight. And you can see that is really where these micro moments happen out there, where the great teams find an extra 1/10 or 2/10 of a second and start stacking those up. And that's how you end up winning by 3 or 4 seconds, because it's going to be that close. Look at this. So, whoops, sorry there. I was just going to say very, very close there. I think just a couple seconds on top of the leaderboard for our Doppios. They are racing out of the E pen. We're going to jump in with our Espressos now out of the C pen here and take a look at our first times coming in. Again, they see the teams based on the performance. Oh, we're looking at a lot of times updating right. Boy, it is really looking good out there with the data today. 31:04 is the fastest time. 25 seconds quicker than the Cryogen Gulls, but we'll update quite a bit here. A lot of fast teams to come. Expecting Smeresfrey Espresso to be the fastest. Says
maybe Tutti Frutti coming in. He's got Steven Kirchmer. Kirchmer's out here today, though, for Tutti Frutti. They came into 2044. That's the fastest so far today. And they've got top athletes out. Nordstrom, Lundstrom, Eriksson, Brackval, Sunderland. This is a no-joke team, and Kirchmer is just absolutely demolishing this at 6+ watts per kilogram as they come on through the Essies for their second time.
Yeah, so we would look back and see some riders right now that are drooling on their stems, trying to hold on and close down this gap. Is Stefan Kirkmeyer is one of the great riders of the, I mean, this guy has been so consistent. As long as I've been around esports, Stefan has been an absolute monster, and uh, you know, he's backed it up out in real life as well. We've seen him taking some big wins out this last season and using the fitness that he's gained on Zwift. And he's really built a whole franchise around his coaching, and it looks like he's having some fun. First time I've seen someone with this whole Swedish outfit that wasn't Swedish. Did you hear that Lionel Viasen has changed is I guess in the process of changing his nationality from Belgian?
Really
Yeah,
interesting. No, I
yeah.
actually, all I know is he changed his 10-minute power to almost 500 watts over the week.
Wow,
And
that's maybe
took
more
a KO
important, right?
took a KOM over on Strava. If anybody wants to go check it out, I just saw it last night. I believe that was
So he's on
yesterday.
fire, huh?
10
Watch
minutes,
out to
500 watts. Took some crazy. Well, it was actually nine and
That's
a half
incredible.
minutes. He finished it quicker than he had anticipated, maybe because he wanted a better 10-minute power, and then took down the KOM as well. So absolutely flying.
Huh.
Vyasen is watch out. I think he's just starting to get going on his peaking for this season.
And all of the notes that we had before the Premier League got underway was like, the most consistent rider still waiting for that win. I can't imagine how he doesn't get it this year. His Canyon team has won every season, and that's what they've been all about. That's the way that we keep score in the Premier League. It's not about individual race wins. I mean, that's always really nice. It certainly is the icing on the cake, but it's how the team performs. And Canyon has always been the team that puts 3 riders in the top 10 and seems to time things super well. And they're right back at it. It's always exciting to have racing on Monday and Tuesdays with the community, and it's already shaping up to be an incredible season as we move into another week of racing. But right now, here, 130th in a row with WTRL. This is Swedish Swifters that we're with, and we're jumping over to the Frappe class.
Yeah, TSC Skumte. Is that going to be some sort of a cake? They said they were saying that they always do like bakery items. I don't know. I'm not positive. They just always say, like, usually it's bakery items that they name their teams after. I'm not sure if that is going. Yes, I'm not from Sweden. I have no idea what that is, but I appreciate that they gave us that inside information. I have to look it up here. Innovation Aliens, 33 minutes.
I'm on it.
R&K Jaguars there coming through with the 3301. That's a tight race between
Uh-oh.
them. NZ Bro with the Waka Wakas. Team CLS is out there with the B52s.
You're going to be salivating here in a nanosecond when you do look it up. Unfortunately, as you're talking about German, I believe it's a Swedish issue that I've got here, but they look incredible. It's a fudge, basically, but special. There's multiple kinds.
It's like a pink Santa Claus.
It certainly is not sugar-free nor calorie-free. Do you see that? Are you looking at it?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I'm looking at them. There's some sort of, and they look like they're usually dressed like Santa or some sort of elf.
Holiday. It looks like it's probably
a holiday.
A holiday.
Yeah, holiday candy.
Thing,
yeah, definitely.
That's nice. I want to go to. Hey, can we do a Zwift Community live from Sweden for this Christmas? That'd be fun.
Flying right on over. Actually, we'll just do lots of different nationalities as our backgrounds with the green screens. That's what green screens are.
But we have to stay at home. We still use the same home studio. We just different backdrops. Studio, just
different backdrops. Yeah. There we go. Actually, we need to actually make that happen.
I feel like yeah, it'd be more fun to actually go. So yeah, but I tell you what, this community has become a real force, hasn't it? What's going on here?
Blomqvist perhaps lost a dropout a little bit, or he's just done for the day. I saw him at 193 beats per minute. They're about to finish the race. Yep. Yeah. So he really just threw all in. Yeah, because this is trying to grab the win out here at 32:44. They were the first team to go out, though, interesting enough. We'll see what they can hold on to. It does look like they were a little ways behind, though. I think the Rapid Rhinos were actually the fastest team. No, excuse me, R&K Jaguars were.
No, you're right.
Huh.
but they're 14 seconds back from the fastest time. So, and they certainly, like, that was, you'd say, oh no, they lost a rider. Well, oh no, that's good. That rider made a huge effort, kept the speed up for the team, and did a nice relay there to possibly get a second or two. So, Nathan, they're certainly in the hunt right now, but it's going to
Team
take a lot.
CLS coming on through with the 21:50 now, though. So it's between them and NZ Bro Pawaka Wakas, it looks like, as there was a 5-second difference before them. Between them at the last
Do you want to get in a
checkpoint.
battle with the Pawaka Waka? I don't.
They look like a mean little bird, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They definitely some of
I
the
told
best.
you about when my 60-pound dog was chased by a 2-pound roadrunner in New Mexico at my mom's old house, right? These birds certainly punch above their weight. Pawaka Wakas are another one of the teams out of New Zealand. It's good to see them racing. I wonder, Nathan, you're so much better at this than I am. Are they all out of New Zealand? Or am I imagining that? I'm going to
From
look.
the NZ Bros?
The
Usually.
Pawaka Wakas. Yeah, typically they are, but maybe Australians too, I think.
Seeing if we can even find them out here.
They don't discriminate.
I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe.
Well,
It's interesting
maybe.
how it's interesting how
Well,
things
have you
get
met Anna
on
Russell?
World of
Yeah.
Drift. God, I mean,
As far as that, there's a healthy
pretty serious with
competitive
Anna Russell.
relationship. Yes, Australia and New Zealand. It only makes sense, right? Those two countries from both on the other side of the globe. There's a Pawaka Waka. Yeah, look, it's coming for you.
These things are. I mean,
That's
look
right
at them.
before they
They're
attack.
Mean. They're
That's the last thing you see.
The last thing you see. Oh my gosh! And the team time trial. That's the last thing you see before you hit the line and go
before
over
you black out.
Yeah,
Right.
this is. It looks like they got a little bit
all
of.
black.
We've got New Zealand, UK, and Finland actually represented.
Oh wow. Yeah, so they are worldwide with a New Zealand emphasis. I think it's very like they wear that all black, or not quite all black, but that kit certainly reminiscent of the so the silver ferns, but the all black, and obviously New Zealand has such a great sporting reputation around the world. Rugby, a big part of that.
I can't get enough of that little bird like this.
I know. So
little...
I mean that's wow, a lot of fierceness right there. Please take it down. Thank you. So they're close. 5K to go right now for NZ Bro.
Yeah, solid ride here so far, and it does look like they're going to win on the day. Team CLS tried to make something happen there. It looks like it was 32-28 with the B52s. TSZ, the Scumtumte, they're solid ride by them. They just finished, as you can see, as the red with the 8 comes on through. One thing I do really like to see out here today is how the numbers have really come up. We've seen teams struggle, obviously over the summer to really pack their teams, but now 8, 7, 7, 7. Not a single team outside of that 7 here in the Frappes. So great to see.
Huge change.
Yeah.
It really is. It speaks to Zwift's big season that we're just getting into now. But you're right, man. It makes me feel so much happier because it's the way it's supposed to be. Just like, I mean, I've been fairly vocal about I like my team time trials to be, falling into the recipe, like consistent to what a team time trial is, rather than straight up out to Zwift or something. And 8 riders is much more interesting than 4.
Gonna jump across
more tactic,
over...
more strategy.
Oh yeah, 100%. Definitely much better
more speed.
when you've got that. More speed all around. Better way to go.
Yeah.
By far. It does look like Barnesy. Was Barnesy out here today? Double checking.
I was just bringing him up based on his ride this weekend. I was just so happy to see someone from the community because
he just finished.
Oh wow.
He just finished their let's see how the Dopios were going.
Interesting. So that's how you become a champion, is by doing your work. To be honest, he
1 second difference at the 24K mark between them and NZ Bro. They brought some time back.
Wow.
Whew.
Oddly enough, James is from New Zealand, but he's with Next. Speaks to how international the sport really is right now. That was your Premier League outright winner of just a couple of days ago out with the team time trial. They've got a team time trial coming up for Premier League, I should say, on the 5th race of the season. So still working on that craft. Next is just one of these teams that is relentless in their pursuit of excellence. We're looking at riders who have finished it, but that's James. James, again, congratulations, my friend.
Yeah,
Good
seeing
people.
people
It's
get back.
nice to see good people have good things happen for them in this world.
Yeah, always good to highlight as well the top athletes out here. Now we're gonna jump
Oh,
back in with the Vienna. Well, actually, this is gonna be
good.
the top end Vienna espressos that we do see with the Sox Watts unicorns. Um, over there, just getting out on course for 7.3K in total. Go ahead, Dave. What's the question?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, and I think it's something that speaks to what you've been talking about for a long time, that we're really excited about Tour de France Feminine FX Zwift being announced, and that's awesome. Also, World Championship announcement. And the way that the community is able to qualify racing November 27th and 28th. I'm not speaking out of school, as this was all an official announcement that I think it came out this week, Monday, maybe even, but um, all sort of exciting because it's a path for community racers. There's some real talented athletes that, because of the way national federations work and establishment in cycling, I mean, I can't imagine you're anything but excited to see that those athletes now have an opportunity. It's still not easy. You're going to have to really be exceptional to get these spots, but there's a chance.
100%. And the way that you go about that is there's a couple different ways to get in. You can head over to WTRL.racing/Zwift-Continental-Open, and you'll be able to see all the information exactly on that. There are some pre-qualifications if you are not involved in the Zwift Racing League A divisions, as well as the. It looks like there's a couple other ways to get in. So you can complete 2 races at the Zwift Continental Open pre-qualifications to make sure that you're an A racer. Those will be taking place on the 13th, 14th, 20th, and 21st. That'll get you in to the actual qualifiers that are taking place on the 27th and 28th. They're going to be in Oceania, Asian, European, African, and Pan American qualifiers all throughout those days for the men and the women. The women on the 27th, men on the 28th. Top 5 go through from each continental qualification race. Really cool to see. We did see the announcement come alongside some comments from Eric Min saying that the community is where things started with Zwift racing, and out of the community, we're going to find some of the fastest racers that can be out there. Also, federations can put in their own racers, out of a hand selected to say, okay, here's who we think is going to be our fastest esports racers from each of the countries respectively that can participate. So cool to see that as well. So we are going to get an awesome mix. Obviously, we've seen Ashley Moomin-Pasio this past year winning, not necessarily being a traditional esport racer coming from the real world of cycling, but definitely taking it up as a passion, obviously, and wearing that world champ kit. She was participating in the ZRL in the community, Dave, this past week.
Yeah, she's built her own team.
Awesome.
Roca
Roca
Cobra.
Cobra. They're killing it out
Yeah.
there.
Love it. Yeah, and it's just another one of these hot spots of esports racing, and she is a force to be real catalyst. That's it, Helen McKay, in with the Vienna group now, the women of Zwift. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nathan, but I believe that we are looking at the legendary Sox for Watts team, the Aero Unicorns. And this is a team that we've come to know and love, that's for sure. First check coming up. Look at our fastest times now as we get a look back through 130 races. This has been a course, well, I don't want to put Martin on the spot, but I think that this is one of the more familiar courses we've been on. So a lot of data points to look at, Nathan.
Yeah, and this record's coming from a time when Wonder Women were just absolutely flying. 41, 42. Aeonian Ray's team, it's cool to see Aeonian
How about they? Yeah,
on there
wow.
with an
What a
old
story.
frappe. They have this frappe time, and now they're winning in the Premier Division. Like, so cool to see
Oh, man.
that team as it came up through these races, actually. Like, this is, the highlights that they were a part of with a lot of these races that we've been on with WTRL, the TTT especially, and that
Tour de
drop night time.
Boudica. I
Yep.
mean, they have really, really earned this moment in the limelight, and I hope it goes on for a long time for Aeonian race team. Jamie Lee Wright, well, she's one of the athletes that stood out to me initially, and then it turns out she's a star amongst stars on that team. Plus the community that they have and the brand and the franchise that they've got. It's one of the best stories in esports right now. Talking about Aeonian, and clearly they were the story coming out of Premier League for the women on. And, things like Tour de Boudica, that was really showed me a lot about they were not only out there racing, but they were looking to create opportunities for even women not on their team. And that speaks to community. This is Jane Despes, one of the other, another legendary rider on this team, talking about Socks for Watts now. Different program, but also really, really got the spirit, the esprit de corps that we love in esports.
Jane letting us know that over the weekend she actually did the Santa Fe Gran Fondo on Sunday in the rain and hail. She said she highly recommends this, especially 2 days before the ZRL this past Tuesday. So nonstop racing as she's back out here for the TTT. She's just loving the suffering.
I don't think there's anything worse than getting caught in hail on your bike, right? Because if you get caught in snow's soft and actually it's really hard to ride in, so you slow down. But hail, wow, that stings. You have hail in Wisconsin, don't you? I'm assuming you do. I've never heard it. I know it snows a lot, but
no, yeah, we got hail, especially when there's tornadoes in the middle of the night. And we're trying to do Zwift casts. We definitely get plenty of hail here. There's literally a tree that like half of the tree went down, and I'm waiting for the tree guy to come and remove it at this point, along with the hail. So we get a little bit of weather here in Wisconsin for sure. That just made me laugh a little bit, Dave, just because we get some pretty serious. Yeah. We get serious weather here. In the what BBB?
Maybe it's so.
This isn't. It was interesting. Already.
Yeah, let's take a look at what we've got here now, because these teams are motoring through lap number 1 of 3. It's 30.6K. The Vienna women, and again, we have all of the different coffee classes out here: Vienna Latte, Vienna Espresso, and Vienna Frappe. This is going to be the Vienna Espresso that we're in with. See, so I race like a girl. So Nathan, there's so much data to look at, but I'm going to have to guess that Catherine Curie must be back.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, but Wahoo LaCole, Dave, we've been saying this over and over again.
Is this going to be Maud Lemieux, Maud Lemieux that we're looking at? Then I'm just opening up this file. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Look at this one, Nathan. So 1 second from the WLC ladies. Wahoo LaCole, 11:25, 11:26 for See So I Race Like a Girl. We've got an absolute Donnybrook for you folks, because if that's really basically coming up on lap 1 and these teams are this close, it's going to be this close all the way to the line. Let's see what Socks for Watts Aero Unicorns can do there at 11:50, and the BBB right there. This is a fun one. Only 4 teams, but man, it's going to be quality over quantity in this group.
Yeah, Maud, be on the watch out for her. I mean, she's going to be leading this crowd. Yeah. And this WLC team, did you see what they pulled off this past week? Over the beast mode went on the attack. This was a moment. This was a moment. Right?
Yeah, and I saw Maud was 3rd, but her teammate won.
So they had these 2 super sprinters that came out of the woodwork, grabbing all these points. Maud chasing everything down that they could. Beast mode was trying to do something about this show up of this team. Beast mode goes on the attack and tries to upset them over the top of one of the intermediate sprints at the top of that tempo climb out on the flatland loops, Mercuri Islands. WLC sees what they do and counters them and drops the whole beast mode team. Completely drops them. Maud goes to the front, demolishes it. I mean, this team, I can't say enough at this point about what WLC is doing on the women's side of things. You want to talk, and they're both here. Arthur and Langham are both here. These are the 2 big sprinters, and they're taking poles right alongside Maud at this point. This team, welcome to watch out.
Super Squad. Yeah, absolutely. So this is Wahoo LaCole that Nathan is talking about. It's going to be Amy Williams, the Welsh rider, two Scots on the team here, Anna Fairweather, and you were just mentioning Arthur. That's Coralie Arthur, who's already proven herself to be a superstar here, the South African, and just the absolute monster, Maud Elaine Leroux, American, Sonia Rodriguez. She's really stood out. And then Zoe Langham out of the United Kingdom. Wahoo Nicole, welcome to the big time. Get used to seeing
This is the
that kid
story,
on your
Dave.
screen. This is
Dave,
Sisu.
Curry
Kessler.
versus, I love it.
Yeah.
These are the head to heads that we love to
Four
see.
riders.
Put them in the ring. Put them in the ring. Haymakers are being thrown. Curry versus Maud versus, I mean, WLC versus this is so awesome. Ramsey, Johan, Kessler are out here, but they've only got 4. They've only got 4.
Well,
WLC have shown up with a lot more riders. It's going to make it so difficult. And Curry, I think, is going to get a little frustration out on the bike now, trying to lead this team to bring back those 10 seconds.
Catherine Curie is an absolute badass. There is no question that she, we jokingly say, oh, he rides like 2 men or he rides like 5 men. Or, well, she rides like 5 monsters. She certainly, they will not be at a disadvantage with only 4. Well, I mean, obviously, no one wants to start with 4, but this team will be very up. They've already proven it. They're going to be competitive all the way to the finish line. Catherine Curie is not alone here. The athletes with her are really strong. As a matter of fact, these names are all incredibly recognizable. Carly Johan, another American. Lenny Ramsey, who does live in America, a triathlete, but she's Dutch by nationality. I believe she's still in the United States. Meredith Kessler, another professional triathlete who's earned her reputation is sterling as just a consistent performer who never misses a step. So this is 4 riders. If you can beat them, you deserve everything, the accolade that comes your way, because this has been the gold standard up to now. We're going to go back. This is Lenny Ramsey that we're with. Sisu, I Race Like a Girl is the team I'm talking about. At check 1, Nathan, only 1 second behind. This is going to be one of the best races we've had in the 130-year history. Anybody who sells you short on women's racing has no idea what they're talking about. Oftentimes, the best race of the day is the women's race.
Taking a look at the WLC team, and one thing about them is that 42, I'm seeing here from Sonia Rodriguez. Anna Fairweather, they're in with 36. Amy Williams has 22 races. The rest of them are 8, 8, 7, and 7, and 6 races under their belt. So some of them very new, especially Langham and Arthur that we were talking about. Maud actually only with 6 in there. So the experience, not very high, but they are showing us that they learn very quickly.
Well, right. Steep learning curve, right? I mean, if you've got the ability, Nathan, if you're coachable, you've worked with a lot of athletes in your time. You know what I mean? Some athletes really get it, and some athletes maybe not as much. And I would say that this team is clearly sharp on every metric. They've got the ability, they've got the desire. That's the true triple threat, to tell you the truth. When you have an athlete that's motivated, their heart is in it for the right reason, they have the talent, ability, and they have the opportunity. And that's been what we were talking about earlier. Zwift has provided this opportunity. These ladies look like that East German team from the 80s that I was talking about. They are flat out flying right now. This is Wahoo Nicole that we've got on our screen here.
I want to give a shout out. I believe it's going to be Rob Spink. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong here, but he is going to be their DS out there today. He's doing an amazing job.
Good to know.
Amazing job. And this was, something that was highlighted to me in the ZRL this past week is that how some of those tactics were playing out, I believe. Because I am seeing them in the pens here. Registered.
Spink.
Robert Spink. He's got 91 team time trials actually underneath his belt as well.
Where's he from? What nationality?
So Rob is going to be coming out of the United Kingdom, also riding for Wahoo Nicole. In so
I want to
solid
connect with
B
him.
rider. Solid B rider coming raced this past week in the EMEA West Division 1 actually. So
I love seeing Sonia Rodriguez here. She's right in the middle of the team. It's these athletes are really lifting each other up. There's no doubt. They're racing on 3 different continents right now, coming together on this Wahoo LaCole team. LaCole is a brand that's going to be growing in the United States quite a bit. So Sonia will become an ambassador for sure. And all of our friends on the 2024 team rock the LaCole stuff quite proudly. Looks fantastic. And this team, Nathan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders together here at this
Still
point
very
over
close
the mid.
racing. It's still pretty close. They are
A little
walking
bit.
away a little bit with this one though, Wahoo LaCole. As Sox for Watts, you can see they've brought a little time back. As you can see, the 50-second difference between them. So that means 10 seconds have been brought back.
So
we also see it on the boards here as Wahoo LaCole comes through at 22:20.
Sisu's time's going to be right there, though. I'm expecting that they put something like a 22:20 up on the board. I cannot wait. Can you feel the anticipation? Right? It's like waiting for that Heinz
Sox for
ketchup.
Watts have lost a full minute at this. They are flying Wahoo LaCole.
Yeah, we're just waiting for that Sisu check, and I'm not. Well, it's the unbelievable job by everyone today. This is just so nice to be so up to speed here. This is going to be so Sox for Watts. Nathan, you were talking about that 23:28, but the time that we're waiting for here with Sisu, they would have been the last team to start. Only 4 riders, and that's been the story. Is Wahoo LaCole has not only the quality and the quantity, but it's really for Sisu tough for the. Oh, there it is. Boom. And it is a 22:34. So 14 seconds now for Wahoo LaCole. Nathan, really looks like they're going to be able to use the numbers to their advantage here. It gets to be a little bit tougher for Sisu into the last lap.
Just really what it comes down to out there today.
Yeah.
It is going to be a numbers game, and they're going to need a few more of them on Sisu. I Race Like a Girl to make it happen. I think still maybe a little bit of outdoor season for them as well. I did see Angela Nath out racing cyclocross over the last couple of days. So
on the podium, right?
On the podium.
Looked like she got a silver medal.
Was that her first cyclocross race too? I think so.
She's amazing how versatile she is.
I want to talk about all the things happening in cross. I mean, with Katie, with her announcement yesterday, and I mean, there's so much going on in the world of women's racing.
That's right. Wisconsin, a World Cup winner, one of the all-time greats, Katie Keogh's retiring. Wisconsin-based athlete. That's definitely a career that full respect to Katie and what she did out there. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Cannondale Cyclocross World Team. Really cool to see it's
always sad to say goodbye. Emma White, who's raced with us on Zwift, also won a bronze medal for the United States in the team pursuit in Tokyo. She just retired at 24.
We're back in with the Rave On team, and good to see them out here. They've been doing an amazing job hyping up all things Zwift racing, and great to see them out here throwing down a solid time. 25:02. Sox Watts Odd Sox 24:31. That's a top 3 ride from Rave On. Solid ride.
Yeah, this is our Vienna Frappes that we're in with. And so Rave On, part of the Team Rave franchise. This is going to be Carrie Dente, Donna Brown, Fancy Nancy, love it, Nancy, Molly Hahn, Patricia Christoph, and then we were with our Wheatley right now in camera there. Or I should say we see her icon, and Sonny Power making up Team Rave.
We can look at this one. This is her third WTRL TTT. One of the coolest new additions to the world of Zwift social media by far. You ever want like a morning coffee? Her Instagram is essentially a morning coffee dance. So if you're waking up in the European time zone and you will go and check out Molly's Instagram, that's the place to get all the energy from by far. And just awesome energy coming from Molly. And
between her and Debbie in shape, you should be fully fired up for the day.
I'm gonna get I'm getting new rave music just for Molly. Like she needs to bring the rave music for every single broadcast that they're gonna be brought in with. We'll get her playlist because whatever it is, I need some of that just injected into my coffee. So, all right, Molly though, solid
chicas. Yeah, look at this, 24:06, and they're 8 seconds faster there than the Cinema. Oh, but Crush Pod comes through with a 24:05. This was going to be a battle royale. 1 second difference between Crush Pod in full effect on top of the table there, as the Watt Chicas then now slot in only 1 second back, so they're in the battle now. 24:14 right there for the team Swedish Zwifter Cinnamon Roll Socks for Watts Odd Socks 24:31. Kirkmeyer 24:56, Ravon 25:02. It is so close out there, everybody, within about a minute right now as WTRL Watts up on fire 25:05, and then B2B 25:22 will get an Evo Comets time that should be good. It could be the best, to tell you the truth, as they were at 8K coming through with the fastest time. Have they held on? Again, fantastic job. The WTRL machine is firing on all cylinders right now as we're in with the legends of Crush Pod.
Look at this Crush Pod team. They are
Look at the
having
kit.
quite the ride. Yeah, the No
This is
Gods, No
awesome.
Masters. They just started partnering with them. And great new kit in game. Graham here, one of the team leaders, as well as Joanne Erst is out there. So always great to see Crush Pod. Strauber, I mean, familiar names, and they've struggled to get this kind of result recently. I feel like in the last couple of weeks that we have covered them, but they are showing up on the day. But it is a 1 second difference between them and the Watt Chicas, so they've got the work cut out for them for another lap and a half.
Yeah, a purist's course is what you could call what we're racing on here today for WTRL number 130. It's 30.6 Ks. You can see up there, 17.6 in. It's 3 circuits out here, not a lot of vertical, just enough to keep you on your toes. But Crush Pod 24:05, it's only 1 second. So this is going to be really interesting for our Vienna Frappe group. Again, this is one of the more competitive fields that you see with this Crush Pod team. This is Caroline Kraus. She's one of the leaders on the squad with Frankie Vidler out of the United Kingdom. I should say Kraus out of Germany. Frankie Vidler from the United Kingdom, along with Joe Graham, who's another one, and Joanne Ernst. So these are the cornerstone riders in this class. Caroline Strasser and Kate Lascelles make up the rest of the Crush Pod team. Caroline German, Kate Lascelles out of the United Kingdom. That's Crush Pod that we're looking at on your screen right now as they go over the wooden bridge.
They do have one rider coming out of New Zealand, actually. That's going to be Mrs. Kayak Lian. I think.
I apologize. I missed.
That might be a recent pickup, though. 181 beats per minute, working real hard. Sam Cross coming through with a comment. 0.5, half a second defeat, man, always makes you feel like you could have pushed a bit harder. We'll be back for the Eat Dirt crowd. Good to see you out there, Sam. Always a longtime viewer. Good to see Gina Durante out there as well. And a few others. It looks like Gina actually giving a shout out to Dave.
Oh, yeah?
Well, he wondered if he got a cold, actually. That's what she's asking. I think Dave's
I
doing
do
well.
have a little bit of a
little
bit of a cold.
She picked right up on it there, Dave. I didn't even pick up on that, and I listen to you every day. Nice job, Gina.
Well, I'm alone at home, so I'm not infecting anyone else, I think. We just had a big, it was snowing here in Colorado.
That's why you had internet issues. They always come on in the fall.
Yeah, the weather maybe.
Issues, they come on in the fall, and next thing you know, everything that needs to breaks. So
maybe we get it all out of the way, though. I'm hoping that's the case. Anyways, it seems like between the airlines and the internet, it's been a tough week here in the United States for everyone. Just making everything work. The infrastructure of this country.
Always ones to watch out for when it comes to looking good as they make their way around course. Hey, a curse. Rasmussen Terhage, very well-known name, is going to be Terhage, but she's walking away. She does this a lot with this team. She's really a force to be reckoned with, but sometimes a little bit excited over the climbs as they make their way over through the Essies.
That's a challenge. That's really the tough part, isn't it, Nathan, for the best climbers, is to go hard enough to get the best out of your team, but not blow the team up. That is a fine line. And I think experience is really the name of the game there, as far as just kind of learning the psychological element of the team, as well as the physiological limits that the riders have out there. And that's really a big part of it, getting the best out of everyone here, because collectively you start with, we hope, 8, but your time comes off of that 4th rider. And the best teams finish with typically 5 because they've used their riders up at the right moments there to get the absolute most out of everyone. There's a lot to it.
Taya here coming out of the UAE, hammering away right now. It looks like 2.5 watts per kilogram. Solid level 40 Zwifter, also racing in the Zwift Racing League. It looks like. I wonder, she's been doing the TTT for quite a while. Also racing the Zwift Classic, so obviously a big part of everything that we're broadcasting here. So great to see her out here with the team, having a good ride for the Evo Comets at 23:55. 10 seconds up currently for Crush Pod. So this is a ride for the win right now.
Yeah, they're really in the mix, aren't they? Is 10 seconds on this course is that's a tough putt for sure, but it is doable. Evo Comets, what a ride they are having today. This is another team that you really love seeing have their success out there. Is Annemet Rasmussen is the Danish rider, Holly Bergen, Simone Gout, Thea Kirs, Tamea Sergehigi, and sorry about the pronunciation there, Tori Spratt. Feel like I'm missing one rider here. Serhegi is how I'm pronouncing that for the Hungarian athlete. I think I'm pretty close, I hope.
Gonna give a quick shout out for the Sox Watts Odd Sox
You
team.
have no comment.
No comment. No comment.
Yeah.
I say Serhegi as well. I think I learned that one from you. So
All right. Well, we certainly are always open to feedback.
always.
Yeah, 100%.
Quick shout out to Jamie Downing, as she's riding out here for her third only
Oh,
time
good for
out
her.
here for the Sox Watts Odd Sox. So
It's
solid
jumping
ride
into the
coming in for
deep end
Jamie
of the
Downing.
pool, Jamie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
level
nice job.
25. She's under 20. That's as far as we'll go with. Is a lot of changes recently. So solid
Did you see
rider
this,
though.
Nathan? She's 11 years old.
Yep. Yeah,
Yikes. That is
killing it
unbelievable.
out there today. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Talbot, I wonder if there's a relation here with the top end esports rider, Talbot as well. I think there's that's going to be an American flag though. But Talbot here making her way to the front, 5.7, going to be her turn on the front. 168 beats per minute. Sultana now trying to hang on. It looks like now at 37:08 is going to be the fast time here for Kirchner. Not sure they're going to hold on to 24:56. No, 23:55. Way over a minute behind here. Is Evo Comets really on the domination train out here today for the Vienna Frappes.
Yeah, this is the institutional knowledge that Sox for Watts has over the last 130 team time trials. So on any given week, there might be 10, 15 different Sox for Watts teams when we really are really rolling out here in WTRL. I mean, at all the different levels, there's even a men's version of Sox for Watts that has been created. Is again, a franchise is a term that comes to mind, just like Swedish Swifters that we're jumping in with now. But these teams build. Kierkemeyer has also done a really good job of just dissecting how you do this team time trial and having techniques and understanding the discipline that's required. And that's why these teams shine week after week out here.
100%. The times now when it comes to the 10 seconds there. Now, watch Chicas and Crush Pod. That's the battle for the podium. TSC Cinnamon Rolls that we're looking at here right now at that 24:14. They're in the conversation. If they do have a solid last lap here, they could bring back some time. And I do think that we've seen some big discrepancies so far between a lot of the teams at this, for those podiums so far. So We did see that in the Dopios. We saw it in the Espressos. Teams that went out a little bit hot because of the reality of this course. It is one where you just kind of have to have the gas on all the way through. Not a lot of reprieve with how flat it is. So we have seen teams fade. So SC not out of the conversation, I don't think, for a podium, but there is a little bit of separation going on here. This might just also be how usually SZ is a very well-oiled machine across the board. Anytime you do see this blue and white jersey with the yellow accents there, be on the watch out for them for being a very well-organized team. Little separation, though, here, as I think Kegstrom knows that they are in it for a podium still and is really trying to drive that pace at 4+ watts per kilogram.
Yeah, the terrain is maybe a bit of the reason why you see those gaps opening up, because it's going to start tightening right back up in front of our eyes here as we look at the Swedes coming into the final 6K of racing out here, halfway through the final lap. There's a rough part of the course here between the wooden bridge and the gravel that you're racing over.
Yeah, moving forward here, I believe this is going to be the Wat Chicas. They are also obviously in it for the win out here today, actually. It was only 11-second difference. Oh, no, is this going to be Watts Up on Fire? Excuse me. My bad. As I think the Wat Chicas may be a little further back. We'll have to keep an eye out and see where they're at. But this is going to be What's Up on Fire here. 37:07. Currently the third fastest time coming through the 24-kilometer mark, but that's going to change up most likely in just a few. As we're looking at Taylor here right now for the Firestorm, and which is What's Up on Fire. Ferris there as well. And Murphy leading it out right now for that WTRL kit.
We could start taking a look at some of the times coming through at this 24-kilometer check. 35:54, the fastest, and by a significant amount. Team Swedish Swifters doing what the cinnamon rolls do. 36:41 for Sox for Watts Odd Sox. Now expecting some fast times from Evo Comets, that's for sure. 23:55. So they were 20 seconds ish faster than the cinnamon rolls at that second check. Let's see if the Swedes were getting any time back, actually, Nathan.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. 35:43 there for Crush Pod. They've really starting to walk away from it, walk away with it just a tad here. Comets, we'll see, at least from the Wat Chicas. Evo Comets,
Yeah.
That's going to be the next time to wait for, as they were the only ones ahead.
And I would expect, so I would imagine it remains pretty close to the same gap that we were looking at, but you never do know. Crush Pod pouring it on here, 35:43, 7 seconds quicker than the Wat Chicas, as you just mentioned. They're in with the 35:50 there at 24K. So as that check was being taken, the teams were about 7-ish K from the finish line out there.
See if we can find the Wat Chicas out on course here as they make their way around.
It's a new name to me, the Wat Chicas.
I saw them last week, but yes, definitely not super familiar. I think it's going to be this German team is what it's going to be.
Well, 15 seconds back to the Wat Chicas from Evo Comets, Nathan, but it's getting a little bit closer out there. I think they're going to run out of real estate pretty quickly, but Crush Pod did whittle it back a little bit to the Evo Comets, but Evo Comets remain the top of the table to 35:25, our quickest time. Actually, they really didn't give up much, did they? Just a couple seconds out there.
No, they didn't.
The Evo Comets looking really good.
We just saw BBB come across the line. So the Espresso is just finishing up as we're jumping around a little bit here between the categories, seeing if we can get as much coverage as we possibly can. The question there was the Catherine Curry, sees I race like a girl, hard charging, trying to bring some time back versus the WLC team.
Wait. Oh, look at that. Swedish Swifters making the pass here. That was kind of look very, very esportsy, video gamey there. As you can see, the Swedes with 4 riders, but they're down to it. I don't think they're worried about the number of riders. Actually, it's 5, I guess, as they make their way through, maybe even 6. But the Swedish Swifters are crushing it out here in front of our eyes as they're fighting for a podium spot with the Wat Chicas. They were only 4 seconds back at that last time check. So this is going to go right to the line here. Swedes looking to take the bronze today.
Yeah, and this is solid ride, it looks like. TSZ.
Yeah. So it is 5.
54. They've brought back a solid amount of time to the Huachicas. The Huachicas from that ZRG team, I saw them just a moment ago. Let's see if we can get back to them, as I believe. Is it going to be the KC team then that I'm actually thinking about here? Is this going to be the names that are on that list? I'm trying to get
Kirkmeyer. Yeah.
where these Huachicas are at.
So that's
As
Kirkmeyer Vienna Frappe that we're looking at right now. The 37:08 seventh place time, unless I'm.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're
I
100%
got
right
it.
there.
Yeah.
Yep,
Right.
you're 100% right. Right now, I'm currently looking for Jean Eifert, Jenny Daniel, Nadine Shaper, Silk Up Map, Suzanne Zellweger, and Ut Ishkans. That's the Huachicas. They're actually the highest number from them. This is going to be them right here. They were just having a struggle to find them out on course here. And this is going to be those Huachicas. This is the battle for that third place between the TSZ Zimonrolls and this team. It's only a 4-second difference between them at this point. Amongst them, 12 is the highest number, actually. So this is a new team. As you're saying,
Wow,
the name, not super familiar with it either. ZRG, obviously a very well-known, the Zwift Riders Germany, very well-known cycling club with their own kit in game. But this specific team and how they're showing up in the Platinum League is a little bit newer to the conversation, at least at this top end, I believe. And they're challenging the Cinnamon Rolls for this next spot. Obviously, Evo Comets on a roll today, though.
Yeah, almost irrepressible, I'd have to say, at this point. These teams are going to come across the line all in a very rapid order now, rapid fire finishing for all of our women out here in our Vienna class. This, again, is the Vienna Frappes that we've been in with. You can see that Evo Comet's time from that final check really does tell the story at this point.
See if we can find them out on course. The Crush Pod's still doing what they do. And the battle, though, between them and Evo has, it looks like, been fairly well established that Evo is just going to dominate out here. They've almost brought it back to 30 seconds. This is what I was talking about, is that things are super close up front on this course. But as it goes on, the reality of keeping those high speeds consistently all the way through on a flatter course can just really take the toll on the poles that continually come on through, because there is not really much of a downhill section to get any reprieve on. Coming through the traditional forward sprint through the downtown Watopia lap finish banner, that's the one section, as well as maybe the downhill. You can get a little bit as well in the downhill into Ocean Boulevard, into that 57. But amongst the ladies, not so much, though. They're a little bit lighter. A lot of times, they're not usually going to get to 57 as quickly, and you got to punch into some serious orange numbers through those 3% negative gradients. You're essentially just on the gas the whole way through, high revs, and those who've got a good, steady endurance of threshold are going to take these wins out here, as we've seen from Evo.
Yeah, and it's not just you, it's your team, right? If only two of the riders can do that, you're still got to get everybody across that line. And they're 2K from that point here, as this is the Evo Comets team command performance today. Looks like they really got it all figured out. Down to 5 riders at this point, not a bad sign at all. They've got a safety net. So time taken off of the 4th. They've used the riders to the best of their ability out here, as this last little kicker right now. You can see the gradient going up to 6% here. This is where that final push is really happening, as they don't want to give back any of the hard-earned seconds. They've put enough time in the bank here. They got a little bit of insurance, so kind of riding with the house's money in their back pocket. Tori Spratt, great job today.
Loving that. That's a great analogy there. Jumping on over to Fisher here, as I believe, they've already finished, actually. I think Fisher was like, enough is enough. And said it was like, we're going to just roll around a little bit here. She was racing in the with the Vienna Lattes, actually, for the Z Scott Alba team. I think they've already finished actually out there today. So solid ride by them. A lot of these teams have already been already across their line. But let's go ahead and see if we can jump in with Angular Memento and the Mochas. We do like to jump across as best we can for the categories to get the most coverage as we can for everybody that puts an effort out there. For the Viennas, I think Rave Against the Machine is out there today. Always love to see them as they've got about 2.6K to go. Angular Momentum as well. Always great to see them out here. And this is actually our most stacked field when it comes to participation, actually.
Yeah, this is, boy, the participation, you're right, has just been outstanding here. And you can see how close this race is, 6 seconds at that last split. We'll have all of our results for the racing that took place here on the 130th WTRL. But Angular Momentum, not surprising to see that name up on top of the leaderboard there. Rave Hardcore sitting second, I should say. And Zedson are the Hydra edition. Just another scant 16 seconds back to make up the virtual podium.
Was having trouble finding anybody, and of course Debbie helps us out, and we're in with them. We also see right ahead of this team with Rave Hardcore, we see our Live by Cycling Faster After 50 team right behind them, chasing them down with Pam at 63 coming out of New Zealand. I love it that they put their age right in game here. Maria, Van, Cindy. So a little bit different on that front if it's right next to their name. So it's the USA here, number 58, right here, 174. The chase is on, and Rave trying to hold them off. The times currently, as you can see here, Rave Hardcore with a 38:32. I think Live by Cycling were caught actually by Rave, but they're trying to keep that gap as low as they possibly can. As Debbie looks like she's maybe not putting the hurt on quite as much this week on the rest of her teammates.
Debbie, I want to know. Shape. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know if she's put together that like Saturday morning climb the Alpe d'Huez every Saturday morning once or twice. She was kind of putting together this cool little ride, and I'm not sure if she got participation out of it, though. That's quite the sufferfest.
When we were in Belgium a couple of weeks ago, it was clearly the last, it felt like the last days of summer, right? The leaves are starting to turn, and Zwift season will be going full throttle at this point, I would think, as, you really feel that shift into fall around the northern hemisphere. And they're going to finish up strong. Good job by Rave Hardcore. This is Lorela. And this is the Owls, isn't it?
Yep. Owls
right, Owls coming through. All right.
Solid
Love the Owls. Good job, ladies.
Left. Looks like they dropped quite a few off, so everybody put everything out there.
Four's all you need. Yep. 4's the magic number.
I believe this is going to be a Rafa team, RCP. If I'm not,
they look sharp.
They're in a Rafa kit. They're in a Rafa kit.
Yeah, they look really good. How do they make your avatars look better? Even Rafa.
There's a little bit of coordination here too. They've got a little coordination really going on here. Coming out of Germany, smooth. Anika, Nicole, Manuela, and Suzanne.
Like a well-oiled machine. Right now, as they're into the last 100 meters or so, they'll see the arch as beautiful. This one is done and dusted. There it is. Good job out there, ladies. Last effort right now.
Another Rave Against the Machine out here. This is going to be our currently fourth place
Either way,
that 24.
I've heard it both ways. They say
38:52. Rave is everywhere today. They
sure
just are showing up and coming out of the woodwork.
Right. I mean, when you say like it happens every couple of months, you see a real movement amongst the Zwift community, and this is one of them. Rose Beast Mode, was this a year ago? Maybe not even.
Yeah,
not even a year ago.
Yeah, not even for sure. Not even a year ago. As
right, isn't it amazing how things are accelerated now here in 2021, where things just once someone's got a good thing going, it really picks up some momentum quickly.
As they come across the line, they are battling it out for a podium spot. As Hydra, we're just ahead of them. Zisa and Hydra. Always got to bring in a little bit of the rave music. We definitely need the rest of Rave's playlist, though.
There it is. Fired up.
England Momentum out there. This is the top team right now, 38-26, but they've got Rave Hardcore that they were having to battle with to the line. Rave Hardcore already across the line.
Yeah, only a couple teams still out there. ART, I think the other one As this, they're about 800 meters from the line right now as we pick up with, looks like the top squad. Angular momentum today. Good job out there, ladies. Boy, a lot of power here. They're flying.
Yeah, I mean, Braveheart, I wonder if Angular Momentum are going to be able to pull this off. I think they're traveling a little bit quicker than what we saw coming in from Rave Hardcore. So they might be able to do this. We'll see, though.
Let's see what we've got here. This Angular Momentum team certainly deserves a lot of credit for the moves that they've been making out here. Got them in our, Vienna class.
Yeah, it's going to be Andrea Winkler.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Angles. That's why I was missing that. Elaine, Faith, Gret, Sam, right? Yeah. Sorry, ladies. The angles. There's also multiple Angular Momentum teams, aren't there?
Yeah. This is definitely a squad that's got a brand that's in game now at this point. Electron's now next to come across. We're going to have results in as everybody's finishing up. You can see the red coming on through. So as we do, let's go ahead and Dave, coming up this next week, we're going to have a Premier Division race number 2. It's got to be pretty exciting. I mean, there's some amazing racing, Dave, this past week that you were a part of with the commentary, and pretty cool to have it over on GCN. Huge amounts of viewership coming through, checking out Drift Racing, which is a super new thing. And awesome to see the attention that's coming on through it. Some of the best racing we've ever seen on that flatlands loop, as that was definitely part of the conversation as well.
Yeah, no, the excitement is incredible. Absolutely amazing energy. I am so pumped for next week. We were talking about it, whether it was, to be honest, seeing Next, which was a team that came through the community, there's a great example. What we were just talking about. A year ago, Next was a new team. Now they've linked up with Insured. Ashton Lambie came on board. He's racing in the community. They've got so many strong riders. James Barnes gets the win, but Brian Duffy Jr. is a rider to watch. As a matter of fact, there's so much talent in that league. It's insane, as who knows what's going to happen. And then the Aeonian story with the women. I mean, it's just as you could really honestly, they were featured in a World of Zwift very early, like maybe in the first 10 World of Zwifts that came out. And Carla Williams and Jamie Lee Wright were featured. They're two game-changing women out there. So, Nathan, thank you for highlighting that. And the guys at GCN, or the team at GCN, absolutely fantastic to be involved with them. They're putting a whole
they're
lot.
also racing too, so we're going to try and get some eyes on them in the community league as well, which will be great. The course this next week, Casse Pots, is going to be that Petite KOM. It's a category 4. The back end of it, I did the course recon, and it's, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's over on the World of Zwift from this past week, and that course, I think, is going to. I raced that course recently, 2 laps in the last month or so, and that climb is just long enough. It's just long enough that and it's more difficult, in my opinion, than the Volcano KOM, because the way that it comes at you, you can punch and get these gaps over and over again. It's just so incredibly difficult of a climb. And that second time over, I think we're going to see some big gaps form. I think it's going to make things really interesting that we're going to have that anvil power up on the downhills, so things can come back or gaps can open up more. So pretty cool course to have for our next Swift Racing League, race number 2 for the Premier Division. I'll be really excited to see what happens with the climbers out there.
Can they stay away?
Yeah, that'll be the question. That'll be the question. I did hear a little frustration from some of the climbers that are out there. I did have some messaging back and forth here and there. They were like, "Oh, I really want some." So we'll see how it plays out.
You want it even harder.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can only imagine. It's funny how we talk about how there's horses for courses, right? And these horses, they're looking for their course, whether you're a mudder or you're a climber or a roulaire, whatever it is. It's been so much fun. So, yeah, we're getting really stuck in with ZRL. That's going to be Monday and Tuesday coming up. But as Nathan said, go watch the World of Zwift. You will learn. Casse Pot, Matt Stevens, along with Hannah Walker, are the other colleagues that we have on Monday. And Matt was talking about casepat means broken legs, kind of. It's an interesting translation because it really means broken pasta. But if you think about it, you can see how broken spaghetti could be the same thing as a broken leg, and that's what they're going to be looking to do out there.
That is I like broken pasta. Essentially what you're doing when you're climbing that climb, you're breaking all the pasta
it all makes sense,
into ATP.
Right?
You're making it all into ATP. That's what's happening. I love it, Dave. That's a great shout out there. See what happened here. They did it. Wow.
Woo.
Wahoo LaCole's to stay, Dave. Take it away.
Yeah, well, and you look at the 4 riders there. It's not a numbers game purely, but it certainly makes, when you have the talent and the numbers, you're unstoppable. Way to go, Wahoo LaCole. They take the win there, and they do it by 19 seconds over a very strong team, but just showing up a little outgunned is Sisu I Race Like a Girl, good for the second fastest time. These are all out of the Platinum League here. Sucks for Watts Aero Unicorns, third fastest time BBB, the fourth, and then you can see NZ Bro, the Pavlovas, out of zone 6. Our fifth fastest time. We're still racing, though. There's more zones that'll be out there throughout the rest of the day. But that is your Vienna Espressos.
And on over with the Vienna Frappes, which we got a little bit of time on. It was the Comets able to take it down, opening up a gap out to 28 seconds to Crush Pod. Crush Pod for second, followed by the Wattikas for that ZRG team. Pretty close as well, only 12 seconds back. TSC Simon Rose holding at 6 seconds back from there in fourth place. Then it's going to be in fifth for Sox Watts Odd Sox, followed up by the WTRL What's Up on Fire for 6. Kirchner Vienna Frappe for 7th place. Rave On keeping us dancing in 8th there. Vegan Bees with really close racing actually with Rave On. Only a few seconds back. And B2B in for 10th. And for the Vienna Lattes, Dave?
Let's see what we've got. Oh boy, Crush Pod 2 getting it done. That's your gold standard with the 48.07. It was only 8 seconds back for Vegan Mint for the silver. Right now, Crush Pod Iced Latte, the third fastest time. NZ Bro, the Lamb Chops, fourth. Aero Stingers in fifth. ZR Scott Alba, sixth. AVC Mount Virgin at seventh. And again, these are the fastest times because you can see it's a bunch of different time zones represented all the way from Platinum League. But then the next Platinum League time comes through 6 fastest with 1, 4, 9, and 5 all represented. So all the zones doing a great job out there. Vienna Latte's got 7th fastest time with AVC Mount Virgin. Evo Meteors 8th, the Cycling Pirates 9th, the TBR Smile On 10th fastest time. They're right there on that bubble. Back to you, Nathan. That was our Vienna Lattes.
In with the Viennas there, Anglomentum hold on by 20 seconds over the top of Rave Hardcore and Debbie Rodriguez. I believe that was where she was riding with. Yeah, Rave Hardcore there. Then it was followed by Rave Against the Machine in that 34.56 back there. Watts, WTRL Watts UPC there coming in for fourth. Zed Sun Hydra. 1 second difference between those two. Very close racing in the Viennas. Loving to see it there. Vikings Iden coming on through for 6. NCTC Mares. All Platinum League too, Dave. This is changing.
Yeah. Wow.
The qualifications are definitely getting more intense, closer racing, and you also see closer times because of that. As we see Adam Racing coming in only a few seconds back there, 3 seconds difference, followed up by Live by Cycling at that 135, and Eone and Diosas. These spots in the Platinum League are really going to start being sought after as we get into this official Zwift season 21-22 for all of the racing in the TTT as well, obviously in the ZRL.
Yeah, I really feel like we leveled up. No, speaking of leveling up, that's going to be NZ Bro Slurtzik with a 39.01 fastest time in our Doppio class. These are the big dogs. It's Next Esport presented by Insured, only 3 seconds back there. Wow, what a race that was in the Platinum League. Out of Zone 8, it's Wahoo LaCole, third fastest time. Fourth, right now, Toyota Cryo RDT Men. Zedson R Hercules, fifth fastest. INC Euro Aliens, 2 in the 6th spot. And then Back Pedal 1, or BAKPDL1, 7th fastest time. So close out there. They're only a minute 6 back. Wow, big day of racing out here for WTRL's Team Time Trial. number 130.
And they did it. They did it. This is that half second that Cross was talking about. TSZ.
Wow.
Woo! What a ride. 39.50 tied half a second on this kind of a course over 30.6K.
They're glad they got
love
Stefan. Stefan Kirkmeyer came in at just the right time.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Eat dirt there out of zone 2. Adam Racing Team Photons there coming in third. Only 5 seconds back as well. These are so close. These are the times these are the times I'm thinking about tonight. I think we've got a good squad tonight. I'm coming for you. Tutti Frutti.
Oh, boy.
Cycling Power
That's what I'm
Race
talking
Team
about.
in
It ain't
for
over.
fourth. It ain't over.
It's
Spurs
not
come
over.
on through for Fresh
Yep.
Espresso there. It's going to be Innovation Alien Express in for 6th. Cryogen Gulls in 7th. Innovation Alien Battlers in for 8th. Dirt Diggler in 9th. And it's going to be Hazama no Kai in for that 10th spot. I love the competitive. Look at this. 1 minute's the difference. Yeah, 1 minute's the difference here. Really, what's the time here at the top, though? 39:01. Are they pulling? They got to be pulling 7 on the front for sure. That's insane. Over to the Frappe.
Well, it's the Farm Club crushing it out there as they're in with a 36-17. Seems a little quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, that. Wait a second.
So it's faster than the dope.
Wait a second. 3 minutes faster?
I don't think that's going to be. I think we might want to refresh that or something.
Just here, I'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. What happens when I refresh it? But I don't think anything's gonna. We'll give it a wait.
All
here.
right. Well,
head on over to this
yeah.
one. That's all you there, Dave.
yeah, let me hit this one. Vikings Valhalla there with the 43.58. That's going to be your fastest time in our Platinum League. With, Platinum League for the Lattes, Cryogen Emus with the 44.01, second quickest. RR Woolly Rhinos in with the third fastest time so far. Eat Dirt 2, fourth. MSC Mazarin, fifth. NZ Bro, the Mutton Birds out of the Platinum League here. Bunch of Platinum Leagues, but that Eat Dirt 2 slipping in out of Zone 2 appropriately. You can see Team Type 1 Lancet, seventh. Virtue Slow, the Stroy, 8th, ATP Racing Nitrogen 9th, and TFC Lancaster. That's your 10th fastest time.
And from what I'm being told, they left the pen early, so we're just going to read it down. There'll be penalties applied later. So it is Eat Dirt 007 there at the top there, followed up by NZ Bro Waka Waka's Bike Connection in for third, actually. Team CLS, followed up by Scott Helpies. Valhalla Leg Biter, followed up by TSZ Scamtamte. The pink marshmallow candies is what I was being told actually in some chat. ZRG,
They look good.
followed up by TSZ. They do look good. They look good there sitting in that 7th place as well. On over to the Mochas.
47.12 was the time that put you on top. Right now is TFC, Team Swedish Swifters, the Mocha Cakes in the gold spot. The Wolfpack Silver. Jubilee Park Cycling Club at 1 minute back are at the bronze standard right now. RR Sumatran Rhinos in 4th. Evo Fusion Lightning 5th. Team Type 1 Gluconaut 6th. RR Charging Rhinos in at 7th. It's going to be Valhalla Dragvantil 8th. Team CLS the Limited Diesels 9th, and then the Vikings Garmer 10th fastest at this moment. A lot of Platinum League, little 10, little Zone 3 in the mix there for our Mochas so far today.
And number 131, make sure to register by next week, 8 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Central time on Wednesday. If you want to be featured, no matter your coffee class, look for the details in the Platinum League invite, and we'll try and start getting some more of those features back into the broadcast. We always love to have them, so make sure to contact us, and we'll throw you some links and get some information from you. Dave, always amazing. Lots of fun. Chat, make sure to do those follow buttons. Turn on your notifications. Like it. Do the comment thing. Always helps out the broadcast. We're live on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, as well as Facebook. We will be back next week. Be on the watch out. We're looking to organize an esports podcast. I believe tomorrow or next Wednesday will be the first go at it. We're still trying to get a few ducks in a row, but with us coming into the main Zwift season, be on the watch out for that. That'll go live here on ZCell as well. World of Zwift will launch again on Sunday. Be on the watch out for that. And otherwise, it's next week, Community League and PD Premier Division. That'll be live on Zwift Live as well as here. Well, actually, we'll be live on GCN as well as here It's odd saying that. I'm not used to saying that. It'll be
Yeah.
live on GCN.
Big deal.
It is a big deal. It's a big deal.
Awesome.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in as always. And we will see you next week. As always, everybody check out WTRL.racing. We'll be live all night. Well, not will be live, but there'll be Twitch streams going on for the rest of the day throughout all 14 zones. I'll be live on zone 14 actually at 8:30 p.m. tonight on my channel if you want to come check it out. And as always, everybody, ride on.